Naoki Yoshida is one of Square Enix's greatest visionaries right now, overseeing the development of Final Fantasy XVI, all while remaining director and producer of Final Fantasy XIV. At this point, he's basically the Warrior of Light for the Final Fantasy series. He takes a very different approach from certain other directors within Square Enix, which personally I believe is for the better. The much better. And this latest interview with him really shows that sharp contrast. Recently, Naoki Yoshida spoke with the Washington Post, commenting on the lack of news for Final Fantasy XVI, with him saying, quote, "Each person will have their own sort of idea or image of what the next Final Fantasy should be. Saying something half-baked is definitely high risk. If something gets spoken about, someone will pick it up on social, and it starts to spread around and people will form expectations. So with Final Fantasy XVI, whenever we do reveal more information on it, we hope to show what kind of game it's going to bring and what kind of excitement we can bring. And my thoughts on this are thank God. We have seen time and time again where certain directors will sort of pop off in Famitsu interviews and etc. And honestly, this isn't just limited to Square Enix, only for the games to come out and not feature nearly as much of what the developers had promised. Conversely, we've also seen far too many games being announced way too early into development, only to get a CG trailer and a logo, followed by years of waiting for an update, and plenty of vague interviews with sometimes shoddy translations, leaving fans to do nothing but bicker amongst themselves. But my boy Yoshida, he said, nah, none of that, son. I am extremely pleased that Yoshida is only going to talk about Final Fantasy XVI when he has something substantial to update us on. Yoshida is not going to give us a breadcrumb trail, no. He is going to give us the full feast, and I am ready for it. Yoshida also saying, quote, "Basic development and scenario production has already been complete. We are continuing to create large-scale resources and build boss battles while expanding various development tools. In addition, most staff work remotely." A big shout out to pretty much every development team that's working right now. Having to work on these massive projects while being remote cannot be easy, but it does make me happy to know that they are safe and working from the comfort of their home and are able to keep building these games that we love so much. And we also got some news that has me shaking in my boots. If you were to ask me who the best writer working on the Final Fantasy franchise is right now, or honestly in the past 20 years, it is without a doubt Natsuko Ishikawa, the writer of Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers. If you don't play Final Fantasy XIV or you haven't gotten to Shadowbringers yet, if you know one person who's experienced it, chances are they won't shut up about it. Like me, for example, I'm the guy who won't shut up about it. And because of this, fans are worried that if she wasn't the one writing Endwalker, then it probably wouldn't be able to live up to the glory of Shadowbringers. And today we got some fantastic news. Natsuko Ishikawa is returning to Final Fantasy XIV, with Naoki Yoshida saying, quote, "Yes, she's cheerfully, and perhaps somewhat frantically, as does happen, pouring her heart and soul into every line of dialogue for each and every character." Of course, she did not work alone in creating the main scenario for Shadowbringers as well. The story is born from the hard work of each of the team members contributing to make the best story possible. Endwalker is following a similar flow, so please look forward to it. Trust me, Naoki Yoshida. I am indeed looking forward to Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. Every day I wake up and I ask myself, is Endwalker out yet? And when the answer is no, I go into a raging fury, followed by a stream of tears that I cannot stop at any point because I am shaking with anticipation for Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. But with all of that said, are you looking forward to Final Fantasy XVI, and do you like the approach that Yoshida is taking with delivering news? Personally, it's a big yes for me. And are you excited about Natsuko Ishikawa returning for Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker? Subscribe, click the bell icon, and let me know in the comments below. Shout out to patron Declan Kokaran and the rest of the Ultima community.